Well, okay, we're back, guys.
Yes.
This is Bike Talk with Bikelane, episode 2. Welcome back, everybody. How's everybody doing today?
Pretty good.
We have here Fern,
Main man,
Friends in Mexico.
Wilmer over here, magician.
Ed, head magician.
and Frankie Rivera, one and only, Frankie with a Y, not an I-E. So, guys, welcome back to our discussion. Today, in this episode, we are going to speak about mostly bike theft.
Right.
Bike theft in all the sense of the word.
So, getting your bike stolen.
Pretty much,
Obviously.
in a nutshell.
Okay.
Getting robbed.
So, let's start off with how people get their bike stolen. Because
Well-
there's lots of funny ways and a bunch of not so funny ways that people get their bike stolen. So, a funny way. I left it outside for only 2 seconds and it was gone.
I walked outside. It vanished.
I went in the deli for a drink. How often does this happen?
Oh.
Every day. And all it takes is 2 seconds. Put your bike down, somebody picks it up and walks away because they were right behind you.
Sometimes 3, maybe if he trips.
Pretty much quick, fast, and a hurry. If anybody wants to see that, we actually have a video up that we posted.
Check it out on Instagram.
Check it out on Bikelane Bicycle Store. You can see the video that we posted on how fast it is to get your bike.
And how
stolen.
easy you can get your bike stolen.
Yes, 100%. So guys, let's speak about the dangers of locking your bike outdoors.
That's the second way of getting your bike stolen.
Pretty much, just locking it outside with the wrong lock, or just leaving it outside because
With
some
no lock.
people with no lock, and certain individuals, they literally don't care.
Right.
It doesn't matter how much they invested into their bike, how much they bought their bike for. They're literally just, I'm just gonna go and get a seltzer water. I drink
Right.
seltzer.
It could also be that they don't care or that they're too comfortable. So
Oh, yeah.
like they could be comfortable in their neighborhood that they don't pay mind to it. They just go in the
Yeah.
store. Yeah, I'm gonna just leave my bike there.
It doesn't
No
matter
big
how
deal.
tough you are.
Right.
Because if your bike is alone, your bike is alone. Somebody's gonna
And-
take your bike.
In layman's terms, that is getting caught slipping.
Oh man, we're laughing, but this is a very serious issue.
It
Yeah,
is
yeah.
a very serious topic. We should talk about what can be done to prevent thieves from stealing your locked bikes. Because pretty much if we leave it outdoors, it getting stolen is by thieves, correct?
Right.
Okay, so
Or
how
it doesn't always have to be leaving it outdoors.
Mhm.
It can be like you're physically getting your bike taken away from you.
Well,
Oh.
that's the third way of getting your bike
that's
stolen.
definitely,
Okay.
yeah. And that's the ones that we don't want to happen or
Yeah.
don't like.
But the lock
Right.
situation.
Yes.
So, if you lock up your bike outdoors, the most important thing that you need is the right lock for your bike. There are a lot of different locks and a lot of different ways to lock up your bike.
Right. For example,
Oh wait, Fernie's gonna use the lock.
we got have here Kryptonite's Keeper chain lock with key.
So this chain lock is 5 feet long. 5 feet is enough space for you to be able to tie up your frame and your back wheel. So you can tie it up to your seat tube, back wheel, and a bike rack or pole, whatever you're gonna tie it up to. In most cases, it does leave your front wheel exposed. And there are people who steal parts. There's somebody that will take your front wheel. Happens all the time. People come in here like, somebody stole my wheel. And it will cost you over $100 depending on the type of bike you have. So you need to keep in mind the style bike you have and how much you actually like your bike, because locks are very important.
Facts. Another way of actually proper locking your bike is either even using 2 locks. Some
Right.
people you can get 2 locks. Mr. Ed, he actually uses 2 locks, and one of them he has in his hand.
Boom! I have the Kryptonite Evolution lock. It's a U-lock. It's a super heavy-duty U-lock. If I ever leave my bike outside, which I hate doing, I use 2 of these guys. One for the front wheel to the frame, and one for the back wheel, frame, and to whatever I'm gonna tie it up to. And even then I feel scared. I love my bike. I don't wanna leave my bike outside with predators, with praying eyes. People who are looking at it like, wow, look how nice that looks, man. I'm gonna take your seat. Then I'm like, damn it. And then it just discourages me from wanting to ride my bike, but never discouraged.
Yes,
Right.
100%. To go back to what you just said, a lot of people don't realize is that some people, when it comes to people, I mean thieves, they'll scope out your bike first.
Oh yeah,
Right.
it's
So-
like a lion in the bushes.
Yeah, they'll literally scope it out. They'll walk back and forth. While they're walking back and forth, and you might not be paying attention, but they're looking at everything. They're looking at anything that they can
They're
take
waiting
quickly.
for the right time to strike.
Yeah,
Like
but
competitors.
they're trying to find, okay, I can do this real fast. Boom, boom, back, boom, boom, back.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And that's something you gotta always look out for too. Don't make nothing easy
Right.
for them.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? If you're gonna go someplace for a long period of time, and even if you have 1 or 2 lots, certain things on your bike, like say a bike light. Lights
Right.
comes with a very small bracket. Others you gotta screw in. But nowadays the new brackets, it's very easy to just and then that's it. Whether it's a light, even a certain type of bell or a horn, very easy brackets to come off. So take it with you. If you know it's one of those type of high-end type of accessories,
Right.
take it with you. You can easily put it in your bag, put it in your pocket. That's something to look out for.
You know
100%.
what I actually noticed? That a lot of people, when they come in here to buy a bike or get their bikes fixed or to purchase a lock, some people will listen to us on how to lock up their bikes, but there's a lot of people who just think they know,
Yeah.
and
Right.
they don't want to listen. So because we're experienced, I feel like we have the obligation to inform people. Like we can spot a
Right.
predator. Like you're trying to obviously steal that bike. We see it, but your average Joe and your everyday commuter might not notice. Like that guy is definitely a bike thief because
Of
he's been
course.
circling, walking,
Of course.
looking. He knows what he's looking at, knows what he's looking for. He's experienced in the art. It's almost an art.
It is.
I mean, I don't think it's an art people should try to be professionals in, but it's an art form.
100%. 100%.
So listen to your local bike shop. Come talk to Frankie, our bike lot professional.
And we're not trying to sell you a lot. We don't sell anybody anything. We just make recommendations. Recommendations we would tell our family and friends and just any regular Joe. You know what I mean? We're just making redemption to recommendations so that you can protect your investment
And
at
it will
the end of the
benefit
day.
you at the end of the day.
Yes.
It will benefit you.
And then another way that you can prevent these is I tell this
Oh
to
man, I know what it
every
is.
single body. And I don't know how many people has done it, but it makes me feel good
Let's
knowing
think it was
that,
all of them. All of
yeah,
them.
I would like to think that everybody followed these rules because I feel like it's a rule and it's a requirement. Anybody that buys a brand new bike, it doesn't matter if it's a kid's bike, an adult bike, scooter, skateboard, whatever, register your bike with the authorities, your local authorities. It's free to register and they'll do whatever they can to make sure that all your information for the bike and your information is in their database and it'll protect your investments. Isn't that a good thing?
It is.
I would think it'll be a good thing. People don't want to listen though. I don't know what to say. Yeah.
That's hilarious, but it's also sad at the same time that people don't listen.
Well, it happens every day. And every day that we sell a bike, we make these recommendations. And all we can do is let you know. If we don't tell you, nobody's going to know.
Right.
Because one of the first things that I hear, and all the time I hear,
Nobody
I
told me.
didn't know that.
Nobody told me that.
And I'm like, well, that's what I'm here for. Like, what?
Thank you.
No, of course. And then also, if it does, God forbid, I like to say God forbid, if it does happen and your bike is stolen, don't think that that's it.
That's it.
My bike is stolen.
That's-
Even if you didn't register it, file a police report. Just show that you actually care about your investment. At the end of the day, if there's a possibility you get it back, you might get it back. You just never know.
There's always a chance. You never know.
It is always a chance, but I did some research and only 3% of bikes actually gets returned. That is not registered, unfortunately. And I read this. It was an article on the Guardian, theguardian.com, and they said that 3% of bikes that has not been registered does not get returned because a lot of times cops don't care. The authorities won't care. Like if you didn't do your part and you didn't do your due diligence, they're not going to care either. So they're gonna be like, okay, no problem, and most likely the cops is the one that took it.
That's funny.
But it's the truth though, 100%.
It is.
It's the truth, and I just like to let people know, no matter what.
So now the third way of getting your bike stolen.
Getting physical.
Oh man, it
Getting
happens.
getting it physically taken from your hands, or if you're riding it, getting kicked off, getting your bike stolen.
So this is more of a thing that happens, I'm gonna say, with the younger generation.
Right.
They love robbing each other. Give me your bike, pretty much. They flip you off your bike, knife point, gun point.
Unfortunately.
However,
But
you do it.
the only way to really prevent that is to be aware of your surroundings and what's coming down the street. If you see a group of people coming down the street and they look aggressive, what do?
Turn the other way.
You go the other way.
Mm-hmm.
But there are a lot of people who just aren't aware of what's going on,
Right.
Yeah.
and they fall into, I'm gonna say, traps.
Yeah.
These are
Right.
traps. There are literally predators out there looking to steal bikes, and if you're not aware, they're gonna get you.
It's that day and age right
That's
Yeah,
that's the most important key. Always like when riding your bike is being aware and like always try your best to avoid those type of situations when there's like you said, big groups of people. Always try to avoid those situations because it's terrible. At the end of the day, you get your bike stolen, you're all sad. Like, come on.
Especially in that type of way. And a lot of times in this day and age, people are just so gullible. You know,
Oh my God.
everybody, especially the young generation, they just want to ride their bikes. And there's certain generations now that they're young that they want to ride with a group of people. They see a group of people riding bikes, like, man, that looks cool. That's the cool thing to do. And they have an innocent mind, but they don't know how other people are. They wasn't street smart about the
Right.
situation.
Can we point out that we're
Unfortunately.
talking about right now the wheelie kids?
The-
Because this is
yeah.
the biggest thing going on in New York City right now.
It is what they say in the city an issue, but I think that's an issue that can be pretty much avoided if
Right.
the Willie kids had an opportunity or a location to actually ride safely and be themselves, and also have some type of authority backup when it comes to getting your bike robbed. Like, how many of these Willie kids can actually say, yeah, I went to a cop and they helped me out? You know, only a handful. You could
Only a
just say
handful.
only a handful, unfortunately. So, you know, a lot of kids don't want to be labeled, oh, he was snitching, and
Right.
blah, 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 because that's a whole big thing. Somebody actually just got killed. Some major points about preventing thieves from taking your bike. Oh, yeah.
Saving your life.
I thought you was touching my back before I could burp. One thing that you can do is purchase a reliable accessory such as lock bolts for your front, your wheels, pretty much front and back, and
Yeah.
some bikes, of course. Pinhead locks. Pinhead locks are for
For the quick release.
Exactly. Which you need a key to take off, which is very good because there's no way they can get through that.
Right.
So that's a good one. And then,
Well, there are ways, just creative.
Right,
ways that
creative.
you don't do in the street.
Yeah.
yeah, and then just in case, which I do follow myself, there is some apps that you can use on Twitter. It's like, say if your bike was robbed right now, right?
Right.
If you go and put your information on Twitter at BikeWatchNYC, they will post up all your information with your pictures of your bike, and that gets sent out.
That's awesome.
And
Yes.
that's so great because
I
that's
need to
pretty much
take a note of this.
Yes.
Bike watch.
At BikeWatch NYC on Twitter. If you go there right now on Twitter, you'll see a lot of information, like people posting up their bikes, new bikes, posting up bikes that got stolen, and they'll help you out. They'll be like, be on the lookout of XYZ.
it's great because that's pretty much the whole community
Yes.
coming together and
Yes.
helping each other out.
How it should be.
And that on Twitter, I also seen that on Instagram as well, also on Facebook.
Mhm.
Pretty much where it's the same. You send your information, someone posts it, and everyone keeps on the lookout,
Yeah.
helping each other out, getting your bike back. Hopefully, end of the day, you end up winning, and it helps everybody out and makes you feel a little safer. That there's people out there that looking out for you as well,
Well, 100%.
looking out for each other.
And it's showing that, man, he really cares about his bike. He
Exactly.
looks like he invested a lot in his bike, and he really likes his bike.
And you gotta go
you know,
above and beyond. for the things you
exactly.
invest in.
Because if you show that you care about your bike, then other people will care too. Like, I know how you feel.
Right.
If I'm gonna be on the lookout. You know what I'm saying? Another thing is that even if you have a really good lock that will protect your investment, and you're gonna be gone for a long time, you're gonna be away from your bike. Another good thing is actually to lock your bike somewhere in front of cameras,
Right.
where you know there's cameras, because just in case if something was to happen,
There's always an eye on it.
there's always some
Well,
type of eye on it. as
Most
well.
of the time it'll deter people. Sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
But most of the
always.
time you're just gonna watch your bike getting stolen.
But at least, you know, if you make a report of it, if you call the authorities, they have a little bit more to go on than just
Absolutely.
here's
Yeah.
my information, or yeah, you
Or
register
here's
your
the
bike.
It's a little more
details.
serious now. That
It gets a little bit
we
more
have a
serious.
perpetrator.
Exactly, and word is gonna get spread, and people get scared once they know that, man, they got my face on camera and the authorities are looking for me. It's like, let me just leave his bike right there. No, on some serious stuff.
Absolutely.
And then lastly, there's some stuff that I found out that is really dope. I'm sorry, but invest in a GPS tracker. There
Oh,
are
yeah, everybody
no,
talks
no,
about
but
the
check this
GPS.
out.
I was
This
gonna
is
bring
so,
that up.
This is so dope. There's a GPS tracker. It's called Spy Bike, and it hides a GPS within LED lights. You could put the GPS tracker in LED lights, in seat posts, and on top caps. And it's a GPS. It's really small that you can put. It'll set you back around $100. But if you made a large investment of your bike,
It's
why
completely
not?
worth it. It's worth it
Why
to
not?
protect your investment.
100%. And then the last one is called the Sherlock. I'm dead at.
I wonder why.
It pops into the handlebars.
Yes, that's the one that everybody talks about.
That one is dope. I was looking into it and I was like, yeah.
It's a bar end GPS.
Yes, which is amazing. And I feel like you already spending $600, $700, maybe even $800 on a bike. You register your bike for free. Why not go the extra mile just in case?
Just in case.
Because
You never know.
you never know. Bam.
And then that leads to the big picture of why people steal bikes and the giant culture around stealing bikes. Like, this is a thing. There's like a community of thieves, like the black market of stealing bikes. That's really an issue because it's growing. I mean, it's never stopped. Everybody steals. But the fact that that exists is a problem, and technology makes it easier. So you can go to Facebook Marketplace, you can buy yourself a used bike. Most people that are selling a used bike,
Probably so.
probably stolen.
Yep.
Not a lot of people get a nice bike and say, I think I want to sell this.
Right.
No. You
They wanna get it off their hands as soon as possible.
absolutely.
Boom.
Just like when you're walking on the street or walking to a store and somebody comes in like, yo, I got this bike, you wanna buy it?
No,
You know
sir.
where it came from. Somebody stole it. So if we stop supporting these people, they will stop stealing because they're gonna realize that they can't make any money.
Exactly.
Stop buying used stolen bikes.
Yep.
But
And-
you know, in those kind of situations, there's sometimes a funny twist where they post it up on like Facebook or like some other website, and then the original person whose bike that is goes
Oh,
to
man.
meet up with them
That happens all the
and
time.
then just
too.
steals it back.
It's like, what can you do? What can you say?
Exactly.
But it's so sad that somebody has to go through that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's been several different times or stories that you hear that.
Yeah.
And then, not to mention the fact that you just mentioned one place, Facebook Marketplace, which is, as they say, popping right now.
Right.
I have 9 websites, social media websites, that you can go to post bikes, whether it's new or old.
Right.
I have the following: Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, eBay, Let Go, Offer Up, Nearby, Saley, Garage Sale, and Wallapop.
Out of those.
So those are all websites, social media websites that you can go and buy and sell, whether new or old bikes, or
Well, you can sell everything.
Yeah,
But a lot of people use them as tools.
Yeah, they
to
use
sell
it.
their
Yeah, for
stolen
utility.
bikes.
That's
And that's what's making it easier and more popular now.
And the more popular bicycle gets, which I get right here, the more stolen bikes we're gonna keep hearing about.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
bicycling right now, it's just the thing, and it's just gonna get more and more and more out there because it's not only is it a healthy way of living, but it's a cost-effective way of living as well. And everybody wants to get to A to B very quickly, but they want to get to it cheaply as well.
Yeah.
Why not? Nobody want to keep paying tolls.
It's the best way.
I don't want to pay for gas.
I don't want to pay for gas. I got my water.
Absolutely.
So $1 a bottle.
100%.
So, according to streetblog.org, there's 100 million people who bike each year, but only 14 million of them bike at least twice a week. So that means most people will take out their bike.
Occasionally.
And occasionally they say, hey, I want to try to get some exercise. They ride their bike and they hate it.
Unfortunately.
And most of the time, they hate it because they feel like it's a nuisance. Like, what are they going to do with their bike? It's like, all right, now I need to go to the store. What am I going to do with my bike? Now I need to go pick up my kid in school. What am I going to do with my bike? And if you're I'm not going to say, if you're what is it? I'm going to say like a witty rider, you'll find ways to take your bike with you into places instead of locking it outside. You just need to be able to communicate properly with wherever you're going. Like, hey, can I take my bike outside? Can I put it in here?
Exactly.
And a lot of modern buildings now are actually getting indoor parking lots too, which is freaking amazing. And
That's a big step.
that's a huge step.
I love that.
And I'm
Why
pretty
not?
sure that those places are getting more business than the places that don't have it, and that don't have indoor parking. We have indoor parking at Bikelane, by the way.
Boom, right over there.
Very true. Another thing that I did want to point out was it's about how the police again, the authorities. I'm dead serious. The National Crime Strategy set to launch after survey finds 50% of victims feel police don't take the offense seriously.
I feel the same way. I do. Most of them go on bicycle, but I believe it's over $4,000, no, $2,000, that it's a felony if you get your bike stolen. So, correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. Correct me in the comments. But over $2,000, it's a felony. But most people spend $500 on a bike and they consider that super expensive. So I find that pretty fudged up.
100%.
Because most of our all-day bikes are $250, $500 bikes.
Right.
And that to a lot of people in certain communities is a big deal. Not everybody's privileged enough to be able to have a really nice bike. To them, $250 is a really nice bike. If you go to Walmart, which will be another topic, you can get a bike for $89.99 and you leave it outside, it gets stolen, you used it for a month, whatever. It's like you rented it.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Rented it for a month.
what it is.
But that's not the majority of people.
Yeah.
And that's not what we want to show.
100%. And not only that though, but a lot of people are not realizing that people that get their bikes stolen in any type of way, they're victims.
Oh my
Yes.
god. The psychological effect.
100%. Again, because those victims, after getting their bike stolen, everything changes for them.
Hold on, I have a very important question. Have you ever gotten your bike stolen?
No.
Have you ever gotten your bike stolen?
No.
I've gotten my bike stolen. So I can tell you from experience how this feels. It's a hardcore psychological
Please,
effect.
let me know.
So I got my bike stolen out of my shed.
I like to hear.
So I used to leave my shed unlocked when I take my bike home. And felt very comfortable for years. You know, I'm riding my bike every day, so I just leave it unlocked, leave my bike in the shed. One day I go to my shed and it's gone. My initial reaction was to laugh because I didn't know how to feel. I was like, this
It's
is
the
real, no
worst.
way. I had to go through my whole house to make sure that nobody was pranking me.
Right.
I looked behind my garage, looked in the alleyway. I was like, where's my bike? Somebody's messing with me. My bike is gone. Luckily, I didn't feel super deterred, but I did feel kind of molested.
It sucks.
Like somebody was like,
Nobody wants
somebody
anything.
was in there.
Yeah, nobody
Yeah.
wants anything from you
Violated.
stolen. Especially when it's something that you love. You know what I mean? You love
Absolutely.
your bike. I ride my bike every day. So I can
Absolutely.
only imagine. But continue, please.
But because I really love my bike and I wanted to ride my bike, I just built another bike.
Right.
And eventually I got over that feeling. But I can imagine like the average Joe who buys a bike and gets their bike stolen, they feel so victimized and they get so scared. They're like, I'm not buying another bike. I just spent $250 on a brand new bike from Bikelane, and it got stolen. I'm not buying another one. And that deters people. Now people don't want to ride their bikes because there's people out there stealing bikes. But people won't be stealing bikes if nobody's buying these stolen bikes. Nobody's stealing bikes just to put them under their Christmas tree and stack them up really high. They're stealing them to sell them, try to make a quick dollar because they think they can.
And that's one of the main reasons why people
Stop buying stolen used bikes.
Unfortunately.
Do not support the antics.
Because a lot of times the victims, you don't know their thoughts, you don't know their mindsets, you don't know their feelings.
Yeah, they could be in a bad place. They could take it really hard.
Oh my God, very. And not only just taking your bike, but anybody that gets something stolen, it can, it could be sentimental value. Maybe this person, they spent months just to save up for this one bike.
So hard.
They worked very hard for this. And at the end of the day, your investment is your money. And it's like, man, if I go out my way to buy this bike that I really wanted and I wanted to do so much with it, I was going to go to A, to B, to C. I was going to get some exercise. I want to feel good. I get to ride with my friends. That messes you up. You literally get traumatized. You can get traumatized. And that's just from your bike getting stolen. Imagine if something happened, this kind of goes back a little bit with bike safety, but imagine you get into an accident, people get traumatized as well.
Oh my God, absolutely.
Getting in an accident with their bike, it deters you from riding your bike.
Check out the last episode on bike safety tips, by the way, season 1, episode 1.
Yes, we're always gonna go back to safety because bike safety is like
Key.
It's mega, and it's so vast. Bike theft, bike accidents, everything, like it's so much. It all does connect. One thing that it says is that in recent polls.
What says?
Oh, The Guardian, TheGuardian.com. In recent polls, 67% of men ride bicycles. Only 33% are women because of fear for their safety and being a victim to bike accidents on the road and theft. Serious business. 67% only of men riding and 33% of women are the only ones riding because they're just scared of getting your bike stolen, being in an accident. It's the worst. Nobody want to be in an accident.
So I want to add to that. Streetblock.org also had a survey on women riders that 30% of women have ridden their bike in the last 12 months, but only 16% would ride more than twice a week.
And they don't want that. They want to ride their bikes with guys as well.
329 million people in the U.S. and 16% of them might ride their bike twice a week. That's really bad.
It is really bad.
There's places, I love talking about Europe.
So
European fan. Amsterdam, everybody's heard of Amsterdam. They love bikes. Everybody bikes. It is the most bike-friendly city in the world, as far as I know. If you know a different one, let us know. But it doesn't make any sense to me that in the U.S., the most...
I believe, Japan is
Oh, Japan is another one.
Yes.
Yes, they're very bike-friendly, bike-conscious. Japan makes awesome stuff, by the way. Anything Japanese.
Even though they're very high in population, they make it work. They're very organized.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
You're going to go and walk, the bike goes, and then the car goes.
They got
Absolutely.
bikes.
They're very synchronized. They're like that. Like, it's serious. I love that, though. I read this really nice quote, which makes sense. It says, this goes with the safety and the traffic and biking and everything. It's called, the city needs to design roads for people, not just for cars. People in general.
So
walking, bikes, not just for cars. Because if the design that the city has is flawed. It's just for cars. It's just now they're catching up.
Absolutely.
Or they're trying to catch up, at least. And they're realizing, like, wow, this makes a lot of sense. Like, we have these huge roads. Some of them is just straight highway-looking roads, and it's just the streets. But there's no bike lanes. There's no walkways. Nothing. So now the city is just catching up right now. Also, I got to throw this out there because I think it's very important. On August 24th and 25th, The DOT, which you can follow them on Instagram and Twitter and everything, Department of Transportation, they're having a helmet day where I think they do fittings for helmets, which we do fittings for helmets here in Bikelane as well.
Stop
And
on by.
they're also, I believe, selling helmets or giving out certain type of helmets. Obviously, it's not going to be the highest quality of helmet, but at least they're trying to get more people with helmets, which we do every single day. If I could point the camera over there, I would. But we have a wall, colorful rainbow wall, very organized, full of helmets.
And different styles too.
And that actually does go back to show that the city is trying to catch up.
Right.
But it's been a long time since they caught up. I mean, roads, the world, I'm gonna say the U.S., has been now just molded around cars ever since the Industrial Revolution. Like, boom, cars after cars after cars after cars started pumping out. Roads started getting nicer, neater, smoother. Everybody forgot about the bicycle, which was the original way of getting around before the horse.
Yep.
Well, after. But now that bikes are getting more popular and cars are getting more dangerous and ruining our ozone, by the way, global warming is real. I said it. Global warming is real.
Had to be said.
So now, finally, they are catching up, which is good. I mean, we can't complain.
Good.
Something's happening.
Something is being done.
We can't get stuck in the past.
Something is
somewhere.
definitely being done, which is
Absolutely.
great. What is the next topic that we could throw out there?
Oh, I have this awesome fact.
Okay.
So
Facts
I
are
was
good.
having a hard time
Because it's true. Oh, sorry.
finding. I was having a hard time finding a group that actually did a census on it, but Assista.com did a couple of surveys on how many bikes are sold within the country. So 15 million bikes were sold in 2015, which is the last time that they did the survey. This is a big deal because if 15 million bikes are made each year, and most of them are really low quality bikes, let's say half of them get thrown in the trash or get stolen, they get misused, they get thrown out. Now you have a bunch of trash building up, a bunch of steel, rubber, plastic, whatever gets used on a bike that just kind of piles up in scrap yards.
What's up, guys? I want to remind everybody to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. That would be fantastic. It supports us, and we can continue doing this. Not only because we like to do it and we enjoy speaking about topics such as these, but if you like it, it shows that you're enjoying it. And if we are entertaining you and bringing light to the subject, or we mention anything that's going to help you out in any type of way, like, comment, and subscribe. That would be fabulous. Boom!
We're back to the topic.
Yeah.
So
Scrapyard.
bikes end up getting stolen, misused, dumped, thrown away, and that's 15 million bikes. If every year somebody buys a new bike, that's 15 million more bikes that are getting thrown into the world that aren't being used properly because they're low quality bikes. I'm gonna say 10 million of them are low quality bikes. That's me guessing.
Right.
Not a lot of them are high quality bikes, at least not in the area we're in. Now, if everybody just maintains their bike, buys a good quality bike first of all, and maintains it, your bike will last you a lifetime. I've had bikes for 5, 6, 7 years. I love my bikes. Now I have the privilege of switching things up, but I still keep my bike. And
Speaking of loving bikes,
oh, that's very nice, Chanelli.
look at that. Look at that Chanelli right there. Proceed.
And the bike industry is a $62 billion a year industry. And it's only that way, I'm gonna say, it's because of low quality bicycles and bike thieves. Now, if people were to take care of their bikes and buy better quality bikes, there will be less bikes being produced. Obviously, there will be less bikes being sold. We might make less money, but at the end of the day, we're helping the bigger picture. We're helping everybody. It's a big picture. It's not a small picture. We don't think of just us. We think of everybody as a whole, everything as a whole. So we're part of the industry. We're part of the world. So we have to be able to take care of each other. So taking care of each other is not stealing bikes and taking care of the bikes that we have, so that we're not producing more garbage. Prices don't raise up because there's a shortage of rubber in China, which is a thing, by the way. I'm not sure if you guys
It's
have
a
heard.
big thing.
tariffs have gone up now. So tariffs is taxes on anything getting imported. So tariffs have gone up from China on bicycles, 25% more tax on bikes coming from China because there's so many coming in. And it's just such a big industry that the government sees a way of getting more money out of it. So if we take care of our bikes, there'll be less tax, less waste. And did I mention that global warming is real?
Very real.
And at the end of the day, we win because we want to continue being on our bikes, and we want to have our customers and people that we know and love and like, and maybe people we don't know, to be on their bikes as well, which is very important. We personally would love to be riding all the time, but we here with you guys.
For you.
Pretty much.
I even did some calculations that in 20 years, if we keep producing 15 million bikes a year, there'll be more bicycles on the planet than people. We have been making bikes for over 100 years now. I mean, there's bikes that come in here from the 40s and 50s. Most of them are 70s and 80s, so a lot of the bikes do get crushed and recycled. But there's a lot of bikes out in the world. Take care of your bike.
Take care of your bike, or somebody else will steal it and take care of it for you. All in a nutshell.
And we just want to also just disrupt this low quality bike giant massive market that's exploding.
Yes.
Amazon, eBay, Walmart, Target.
Oh yes.
Oh my God.
And that's
Next topic.
That's a good segue. Episode 3 is gonna come out pretty soon, and we will be talking about buying online and department store bikes.
Benefits.
And well, the pros and cons
Pros and
of
cons.
department store and online bike purchases.
Right.
That's gonna be episode 3. So for a recap, guys, how can we recap?
Recap.
Recap.
Don't buy a shitty lock from the 99-cent store or Home Depot. Get a real lock to lock up your bicycle.
If you have to get a lock, you can get 1 or 2 and go get a high quality lock. Don't get a cheapy choppy lock, because a cheapy choppy lock is gonna get your bike stolen.
Lock and cable combo, keep your whole bike together, lock up your wheels, your frame, all of that.
If you see a group of people coming at you and they look aggressive, ride the
You
other
turn
way.
that,
100%.
go the other way.
One of the major ones, you buy a brand new bike, you buy a brand new scooter, anything, register your bike. It's free with the local authorities. Take whatever receipt that you get, bring in your bike if you like, register your bike. Even though they may not do anything, but it's a shot. At least
Yes.
you're showing that you care about your
care
purchase.
for your investments.
Care about your investment, 100%. And then also, don't steal nobody's bike. Nobody want to go through that. I don't want to find out that you stole somebody's bike.
Imagine if it happened to you.
Imagine if it happens to
Even
you.
if you're a thief, you're a tough guy, you go around, you take risks, it messes with you.
Yes, it does. And if you mess with somebody, somebody's gonna mess with you back. Right, Fern?
Karma's real.
Talk about karma.
So in other news, this has been another Bike Talk with Bikelane episode.
BTB for sure.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And again, like, subscribe,
Share.
And
Let us know what you
other.
think in the comments.
ride your bike.
And come visit us anytime. Except Wednesday, we're closed.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Bye, Fern.
Bye, Fern!